Good morning. Welcome to the Subtle Secrets of Pranayama. Today is day 26, and I apologize for missing yesterday. I had all sorts of great intentions to do a live stream yesterday, but I was presenting at the Mountain Area Health Education Center here in Asheville. We had a really lovely group of more than, I don't know, it was like almost 50 clinicians who came to learn about these practices. So part of my work, if you don't know, is training mental health professionals to use these practices with their clients. And through that, the mission of subtle yoga is to help improve the health of populations across the spectrum of care. So not just not just working with people individually or at yoga studios, but getting the practices and the theory of yoga, and particularly of subtle yoga, out there into the world. So lots of great connections, lots of great people. I'd love you to join me for any of those workshops at the Mountain Area Health Education Center here in Asheville. We have people coming from all over the country for them, mostly from the region, but there's also people that come from California, and some people are there from Texas and Indiana. So so it's gaining some credibility because you can get CEUs for the work too. And I always present with a licensed provider as well. So Ashley Lester has helped me develop the programs, and also my husband, Brett, is very instrumental in the program. So anyway, that's where I was yesterday. I have lots of great stuff coming up, by the way. I'm having a little West Coast tour in July. So I'm going to be in Tacoma and also in San Jose, and I might have a day in San Francisco or the Berkeley area too. So I'll let you know about that if you're out there. Okay, so today we have 5 days left. There's so many other things I want to talk about, and one of the solutions I've come up with for that is that I'm going to be I'm working on an ebook that's kind of taking into account all the stuff we've been talking about and then some other things. But for today, I wanted to talk about one of the reasons why I started this challenge, one of the reasons why I want to share pranayama so much with you, is that because of our pitta-provoked culture, because we live in a culture where people have, it's such a drive kind of culture. You have to work harder and do things, do more. We live in that culture, and therefore, necessarily, of course, understandably, we take that attitude and we apply it to pranayama. And we make pranayama an Olympic sport. Like, the longer my ratios, the better. Or, I've got to make sure I do this intense pranayama that's going to give me energy. That sort of attitude. Or even just when we're doing ratios, we have this attitude of like, oh, there's something wrong with me because I only have a 3 count inhale. We have those sorts of feelings about ourselves, and that is, we have to look deeper into the worldview of our culture that perpetuates that kind of pitta-provoked attitude. I'm not above that. I feel it very deeply in my epigenetic expression. In my personality, I feel it deeply too. So we all have to just be conscious of it, and then through that conscious awareness we can do something different. So that's why I titled today's discussion this challenge between ancient wisdom and neo-colonialist approach. Because what is your body? Is it something to be subdued and conquered? That's the language that we use when we talk about the body in our culture. Fight fat and conquer your body, and extreme exercise works, and CrossFit stuff. That, and the thing, like, if you like CrossFit, that's fine. But just to know where that kind of extreme exercise mentality comes from, it's a Starbucks fueled kind of neo-colonialist mentality that my body is something that has to be subdued and conquered. And when we take that approach to the breath, it's so tragic and sad. It's like conquering the indigenous community of your body. That's what that attitude is about. It's conquering the indigenous people in your body, and with it destroying all of the traditional wisdom that those peoples hold within you. Your body is a microcosm of this macrocosmic world that we live in. So my suggestion is we can take a feminist or if you like that word, or a ancient people's approach to our breath. And rather than seeing it as something to be conquered and subdued, we can see it as something to be allied with and to have a relationship with and to learn something from, because your breath is constantly telling you things. It's constantly giving you information about the state of your body. That's the homeostatic interoceptive um, connection of the breath to the brain. Is I'm constantly looking for a way to bring more balance to my system, and then we override that balance and try hard and that have that kind of fight football attitude towards our breath. And I just find it really sad. I think rather, if we approach the breath as this incredible gift, this amazing life-giving primal experience, then we really can enter into these states of contentment and even bliss just from noticing your breath. I mean, the breath can be so blissful. I think all of the things people do, all the things people smoke, their vapes or their chillums or their cigarettes or whatever, all of that stuff is available to us. Certainly not in a concentrated white powder kind of way, but it's all available to us through this exploration of the breath. All of those senses, tapping into and stimulating the dopamine receptors and norepinephrine in your system, the serotonin in your system, the GABA, all of the neurotransmitters that are important for mental health, the endogenous endorphins, the opiates, which are the endorphins. All of those things are accessible through an exploration of the breath. So the practice for today I'd like to suggest is this practice of honoring your ratio. So think about it as honoring your indigenous tribes, honoring the indigenous knowledge, the ancient knowledge that lives in your epigenetic expression. Think about it as honoring that within you, honoring the breath, honoring the life force, honoring the prana. And when you approach your breath like that, it becomes a sacred act. Breathing becomes a sacred practice, and rather than something like, you got to do this ratio because that's what's going to fix your anxiety. Sure, there's lots of things like that. There's lots of potential, for using practices and to know those practices is very important. But the honoring of the breath, that feminine approach, that ancient wisdom approach, is what's really going to soothe your nervous system and bring you to a place of stillness and peace and contentment and all those things, and connection and all those things that our culture is so desperately longing for right now. So for today, if you like, you can join me for a moment. We'll go in, we'll follow the breath in and out, and we'll just notice where the breath wants to go. What's the ratio that your breath wants to take today? And if you have another number to introduce, let's say you're doing a 3-5 breath, like inhaling, it's lasting about 3, and exhale is lasting about 5, which is kind of normal for a lot of people. Could you offer, like, I would like to introduce to you, breath, another number at the top of my inhale. I want to introduce to you, like, maybe we could do 4 on the inhale and 5 on the exhale. How does that feel? Or I'd like to introduce another number on the exhale. I want to invite you to experience this and notice how it makes you feel. So having that kind of relationship, as if you're having a relationship with all of the ancient people from your past who have contributed to your physical structure and to your epigenetic expression and to your biology, as if all of them are with you and you're honoring the ancestors through your breath. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you have a lovely experience with your breath today, a lovely relationship with your breath today. And I'll be back tomorrow. I will be here tomorrow. And tomorrow I have a couple like technical things I want to talk about in terms of how sitting, like exploring places to sit and exploring different postures for breathing. So I kind of want to explore that a bit tomorrow. keep an eye out. If you're not on my newsletter, please sign up and keep an eye out for my pranayama ebook that's going to be that I'm going to hopefully be finished by the end of the week. It's not really long, but it's going to sum up all these wonderful practices we've been working on. And please leave comments, questions, and also I would love your feedback as to the next 30-day challenge. But I've got a few people asking me for different things, so let me know what you want, and I'm happy to try and figure out how to do that for the next one. I'll probably take a week off or something. All right, have a great day. Namaste.